Can you believe the journey Pixar has taken to become one of the most prominent and recognizable names in the world of animation? Now, if you're a moviegoer or you love animation, you probably know Pixar has been in the news lately with the recent release of Elio. There's been a lot of talks about whether or not Pixar is moving in the right direction. Now, today, we're going to go through the history of Pixar and get a better understanding of where they're coming from. Should they keep making original movies, or should they stick to sequels and prequels? For nearly 4 decades, Pixar Animation Studios has not only redefined animation, but reshaped the art of storytelling itself. From the groundbreaking visuals of Toy Story to the emotional depths of Up, to the cultural resonance of Coco, and now the new Elio. Pixar has continued to inspire generation with films that blend artistic daring, emotional depth, and technological excellence. With each new project, Pixar builds upon its legacy and wants to continue their success. This success spans decades, movies, and characters. They have had a thriving partnership with the Walt Disney Company as a piece of their giant entity. Today, it stands as a beacon of cinematic excellence and is known for its powerful storytelling. Pixar's story began long before it became a household name. Originally formed in 1979 as part of Lucasfilm's computer division, the group that called itself Graphics Group was developed through high end digital imagery technology. Its mission wasn't to make films. Its first was to advance the state of computer graphics and make advancements for digital animation. In 1986, Steve Jobs would purchase the division for $10 million, spinning it off as its own independent company. He would call this company Pixar. Jobs believed in the power of art and technology, and he had a belief fueled that Pixar could create something unique, something that hadn't been seen before. His first project with Pixar would be Luxo Jr. in 1986, which introduced the now famous Pixar lamp, which is seen as their mascot. Other films that would be short films would be seen as Red's Dream in 1987, Tin Toy in 1988, and Knick Knack in 1989. These shorts weren't just artistic achievements, they were technological marvels. If you watch a video from any of these short film debuts, you will see that people felt the emotion in these characters. Steve Jobs was on to something. Pixar was on to something. In partnership with the Walt Disney Company, Pixar would make history in 1995 with the release of Toy Story, the first ever fully computer animated feature film. The film was a landmark achievement and a box office sensation, grossing over $373 million worldwide. People at the Walt Disney Company were amazed. They saw so much potential in Pixar through their partnership, but they also saw them as a danger. Another big name animation studio working in the same field they were, and Disney at this time had a revolution of sense. They had a renaissance in their 2D animation, and now they were going up against 3D animation, computer generated animation, things that could be cheaper down the line to create. Disney was both intrigued and fearful, but this was more than just financial success for Pixar and Disney. Toy Story proved that digital animation could carry the same emotion and narrative weight that traditional hand-drawn classics could have. Characters like Woody and Buzz Lightyear became instant icons and would be seen throughout the Walt Disney World theme parks and Disneyland. It was incredible to see the growth of these characters and the fact that they resonated like those of the original Disney characters. The film marked the beginning of a long-standing relationship, though it had its ups and downs, with Pixar and Disney. They would handle the distribution rights through Disney, and Disney would handle things like marketing and merchandising, where Pixar would create the films. It was a fruitful relationship at the very beginning, and Steve Jobs saw this as a long-term play. From 1998 to 2006, Pixar would have success after success through their partnership with the Walt Disney Company. A Bug's Life would premiere in 1998, with Toy Story 2 coming in 1999 and Monsters Inc. coming in 2001. Over those few years, they had success after success. After that, in 2003 and 2004, you would see films like Finding Nemo and The Incredibles. And then in 2006, one of the most unique films that they undertook, Cars, which would become a juggernaut for merchandising and theme parks. Each of these films pushed boundaries in animation and technology, but continued to build that magical world that fans were looking for. Disney, seeing this, saw that there could be an opportunity to expand this partnership further, with other competitors like DreamWorks expanding and growing. Disney wanted a way to really compete in the world of 3D computer animation, graphics, and technology. Disney had created their own characters using similar technology, but was not winning. They were still losing to Pixar, their partners. And with things like merchandising being so valuable in the Disney theme parks and in the Disney stores and around the world, Disney saw this as an opportunity. They no longer looked at Pixar as a threat, as a main threat that could threaten their survival. Bob Iger took it as an opportunity. He believed the partnership with Steve Jobs and Pixar was not good enough. They needed an acquisition. They needed to expand their merchandising and marketing of Pixar and expand it within the theme parks. Bob Iger and the Walt Disney Company saw the value that Pixar could bring. In 2006, Disney would purchase Pixar for $7.4 billion in an all-stock deal. Under the leadership of CEO Bob Iger and Pixar's key creatives like John Lasseter and Pete Docter, the merger preserved Pixar's unique creative culture while enhancing their global reach and expanding the Walt Disney portfolio. The key outcomes of the Pixar-Disney synergy could be seen from Wall Street to animation fans. There was creative autonomy between resources with Pixar and Disney. The merchandising was true muscle around the world, and the theme park integration would be seamless as the characters had already been seen throughout the Disney parks. Now they just needed rides and worlds, which we would get later down the line. Those fantastic films that came out of Pixar and Disney partnership early on and into those sequels that became successful as well. Pixar has really struggled as of late. They've been seen as a weak link within the Walt Disney Company as their films had not been as successful as they once were. The ones that had been successful or are having success are that of sequels, like Incredibles 2. Do fans really just want sequels or prequels? Toy Story 4 was a classic in itself, though some would say it's not needed, and Toy Story 5 is coming down the line as well now. But films like Elio, which came out in theaters, struggled. It couldn't find its space. Some say that it's because the Walt Disney Company just didn't market it as well as they have with other films, like that of the CGI live-action animated Stitch. But others are saying maybe Pixar has just lost its touch. What do you think? Do you think Disney and Pixar should integrate more? Or should they stay separate? As of right now, Pixar falls under Disney. They're under their ownership, but they're seen as a separate entity in a sense. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear from all of you. Thank you.